given the microphone a test, you probably won't hear the boys huffing and puffing. Try that again, using the microphone, which we should see if that's what's working if I'm doing a bit of this with it. I really don't know which microphone is working. So I've been wanting a wireless lavalier mic for quite a while. I obviously didn't want to spend a lot of money on it because I don't want to spend a lot of money on many things anyway. I've seen some people wearing the Rhodes mics, but I've also seen people wearing little ones like this on some of the videos that I'm watching. So I hunted eBay to see what I could find, and I found several sellers that would sell these ones that would be suitable for iPhones or Android phones. And when you're selecting them, you would basically select whether it would have a lightning port or a USB-C port for the receiver. I noticed that they would come in either one or two microphone setups. I just got a single setup. The price was pretty good. I'll pop it on the screen because I can't remember it right now. It came really quick. I wasn't expecting it for at least a week, and it arrived within a couple of days. This one says it's for iPhone. It's just for one because I've only got the one microphone in there. It says it's plug and play, up to 20 meter accessible reception, which hopefully will work well for when I'm doing work around the house and in the yard. Quite clear, sensitive, compatible. Have a look. When you open it up, you've got your microphone with the protective tape that they put over things. Let's see if I can just get this out. Okay, single microphone, clip, charging port, on-off switch on the back, directional microphone with a wind cover. That's one of the main things I wanted because I've had some videos get ruined by wind. And then the receiver. Let's take these off. See, my one's a lightning receiver. It's got a single plug there. Small user manual. Which is probably going to be in many languages. Many languages. Let's try English one. Says it's plug and play, no app required, so I'm hoping it's just going to work directly with the video recording app on the iPhone. Just outlining the parts. 9, there's a reset key on the receiver. I don't notice a reset key anywhere, but there is a little light that's obviously going to flash when you plug it in. A hole where the LED light's going to be. Let's see what's inside here. Obviously cable. So you get a spare clip, which is good because I don't know how durable this clip's going to be. And a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, which must be for the microphone. Insert the receiver into the phone, press the switch key on the microphone. It should have an indicator light to show that it's on. Red indicator, receiver, always on, then open your phone, camera. So open the camera app or other apps to use the microphone and receive sound. So if there's a little red indicator on this, it obviously means it's plugged in, but you're not doing anything with it. There's no battery in this, so there's no need to charge this. But it says here, if the battery is low, this must be a lightning port. So you use your iPhone cable through the receiver to keep your phone charged. Press the switch key, you'll get a green indicator to say the power's on. Press for 3 seconds to power it off. Pairing, you'll have a red and green indicator flashing. Once it's paired, it's green. To pause it, press once. To reset, press for 3 seconds, which I'm assuming is just like turning it off and then turning it back on again. a low battery alarm, a red and green indicator flashing, and a red indicator when it's charging with the cable. On the receiver, power on, plug in the phone port, you get a red indicator, power off, pull out from the phone port, no indicator. Red indicator for pairing, red indicator for paired. Not rocket science stuff. I guess we'll give it a go, won't we? First Sunday of the break. Living up to its namesake, Sunday. Yesterday was horrible, we had storms. Bringing the boys and me out for a walk. Taking this opportunity to make use of the, the microphone just on the edge of me. Because I want to see what sort of sound that creates with these vlogs. Because I noticed that it really killed out the sound of the truck yesterday or the day before. To me, put a completely different vibe on what I was saying at the time, because it was just like the sound was a lot clearer, but it just felt different. The noise cancelling out that it does. Whether you'll hear things like that barking dog or the birds. I'd like it to cut out wind noise, but there's no real wind today. While walking, I'm hearing all the like lawn mowing. So now, providing this microphone's still turned on, you'll be hearing me. Really trying to find out whether the microphone is recording through this, whether it's recording through the phone. Because if it's recording through the phone, I should be hearing it nice and clear like this, or rather loud right now. Here's another test, because if it's recording through the phone, it should be hearing me really clearly, because I've unplugged the microphone and it's now flashing red to say, yeah, nothing's going on. Now it's saying that it should be working through the microphone because it's green, no flashing. Which means it should be really loud right now if I talk like this. So now recording like this, you should be hearing me pretty clear on the microphone. Even if the phone ends up facing over this way and looking at the boys, it should be recording from the microphone attached to me. Okay, this is going to be an awkward decision to try and figure out. Yeah, I want some really clear volume when I'm doing my vlogs. I don't want the surrounding environment to be tuned out too much. If it was windy, I'd definitely want to tune it out, because I know I've had some issues with the wind in the videos in the past. And also the thing where if there's a really loud noise, the phone will lower what it's collecting and then slowly turn it back up. And I found that in the video I was doing last week when I started doing the roller door stuff in the workshop, and the noise from the roller door just caused the phone to lower the sound levels completely, and the stuff I was saying wasn't being picked up. So I may need to, I don't know, maybe use this when I'm doing vlogging at school so it's very focused sound. If I'm out and it's windy, make use of it. But I mean, when you think about trying to talk about having my boys with me, I want to make sure you get some of that interaction from their panting. Hey Sam and Batman, you ready to move? You move on now? Just listening back to that video before I took off, location of the microphone is going to be a very important factor. Where I had it, here, it kept rubbing on this when I turned my head. It also rubbed on my beard and got a fair bit of noise. So maybe Jay Bates has the right idea, but the trouble is I don't wear a hat all the time. I'll listen to what this sounds like, and it could be a mixture of a lot of different options. Yeah, so I think for general vlogging, especially if I want to hear me, hang on, I'm on a slimy bit of rock just here. It's very slippery and I don't want to go over on it. That's probably a good spot because there was no other noise coming into it. It's only picking up my voice. Hopefully it does pick up some other ambient sound, but not anything that's too too distracting. Still a big step, isn't it, Sam? Ready about? Oh, this way. Decided the best spot for this microphone is on my hat, especially with my beard, because I heard it rustling on the microphone several times. And with it here, I can press the button to turn it on and I just catch a glimpse of the LED light to say it's on, so I know it's working. It's a much cooler day today. No real sun out, and it's been like this kind of all day. It's about 3:30 now. So I'm going to listen back to the recordings of yesterday and today, and that Friday in the truck, and I think put them together as sort of like a review of this little microphone. This little thing here. Bit of a breeze today. That'll be interesting to see how it picks that up too, because it's right on the brim of the hat, and whether you can actually hear the boys. Another little point on this microphone. I said when I turn it off, it's a long press to turn it off, and you can see the light sort of flash and then disappears where it is. And then to turn it back on, I gave it a short press, and it was doing a red and green flash, which meant it was on but it wasn't connected. So I opened the phone, opened the camera, and it went green. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, so the microphone's now working with the camera, working well. We've just come down that little bit of a bush track. Boys are down here. This is where the lookout is. It's quite a beautiful place to come and just chill. Out for another walk. We've come out to our other walking spot, or one of the other spots I've bought them. I plugged the microphone in and the little green LED is on, so it's meant to be recording me. So I'm going to check it before I do any further recording, because I found a few on the other day that were wrong. It seems like it's working this time. I have to always do a short test, which is probably good practice. You should never really fully trust your equipment, I guess. I definitely know I've done things in the past where I thought I'd been filming and hadn't pressed the actual button, or I double pressed it so it had started and stopped straight away. So it's always a good idea to check your equipment. And I guess if I'm going to try and use a microphone like this to hopefully get a more consistent voiceover, when you're using the camera in selfie mode, if you're talking like this but then you turn your head like this, then the voice can disappear from the sound. Now hopefully it didn't just then, and I'll check that later. But it also means, like with the iPhone camera, one thing that I found out in some of my earlier videos, that I'd be talking like this and then I'd switch the camera to the other camera, to the front facing camera, or the rear facing nice camera, or higher quality camera. Well, I'll demonstrate. I would switch it to like this, and I'd be talking about things in front of me, like the job that I'd be doing, or like, look at that burnout tree and that sort of stuff. And this is a beautiful gully down in the background, and the boy is checking out where some native animals have obviously run down into the bush. This looks like a little pathway. But when you would turn the phone around like this and be filming at the front, it'd be really hard to hear what I was saying, because I'm behind the camera, because it's filming this side and there's a microphone on this side of the phone that it would be using. We're on the last stretch of the walk down this long slope. But just before we got back to the truck, the boys had stopped to have a bit of a sniff at something, and while they were doing that, I just looked down into the bush and saw this gorgeous... So, well, I've still got you connected. The reason I wanted to test this out, the reason I bought it, number one, I was aware of the poor quality of sound in some of my videos. And this microphone you could buy as a lightning connector for the receiver that connects to the phone, or as a USB-C, and I think they were the only two options. I'm not sure if there was a micro USB version. And you could get them with 1 or 2 microphones. I'm not doing interviews, so I figured I'd just buy the single version first, and if it's any good, then I could possibly buy a second version or one with 2 microphones. And the price was pretty good. I can't remember exactly, but I'll figure it out and put it on the screen. But I'd also seen quite a number of the YouTubers that I do follow have started wearing the lav type mics on their shirts. Matt Cremona has always seemed to wear one pinched in the middle of his shirt. It's a one with another pack, microphone cable pack. I didn't want to have that kind of restriction, because a lot of my videos are when I'm doing stuff around the yard, and they're the ones where the sound quality seem to suffer the most. This is the only part that has a battery, and it's chargeable by USB-C. The receiver that goes into the phone, if you need to keep the phone plugged in, it will charge via the pass-through of a like the lightning cable. It's got a little plug on the side. It does nothing for the receiver, it just provides power for the phone. I'll be checking out all of the clips that I've taken today. I know that some of the ones I took the other day were wrong, like the microphone wasn't what was recording. So I think I've got it right this time. We shall see. Current thoughts, I won't say final thoughts, but current thoughts on the microphone. The sound quality seems to be good. It's a little bit of a hassle to make sure it's recording. Like I said, there's the very tiny spot for the LED. Having it up on the hat allows me to see it, but can't always guarantee that it was recording. Keep an eye on the little LED and make sure it's recording, I guess, before committing to a really long monologue. I got a little bit better today than I did over the last couple of days, because there was a couple of times when I thought it was connected, might have just caught a glimpse of the LED, and then it turned out that it was just recording through the microphone on the camera rather than this. And you could tell by when turning head around and that sort of stuff. For $19, or $18.99 Australian, delivered, and it came within a couple of days, it was worth a shot. It was worth giving it a try, having a go with it. And so far so good. And I've only charged it once, and that was when I first got it. Made sure it was all charged up, and so all the recording I've done so far has been on that one charge. I'm not exactly sure how long the battery lasts for, but I've been turning it off in between recordings, which is probably why sometimes they get messed up. We're starting to get some heavy rain here, so I think I'll leave this here. Worth a try.